I believe this coaching staff knows how to develop talent. What if they find somebody? But I don't think that Adam has stopped looking. He didn't do it because at the point when he was getting picked, he didn't think that I'm not just reaching for somebody just to say I got an outside guy. I got Trey Amos. I'm taking him. He's probably one of the top corners in this damn draft. I'm taking him. And he came out, I'm gonna take Jalen Lane because he's a athlete and he can fill the position we need. Our return guy may end up being a damn good receiver for you too. He made picks based off of what he felt was something. This is the best move to make at the moment. I'm not just grabbing edge rushers just because people think I'm supposed to. And I agree with that. Because you got coaches that you feel should be able to make it happen.
If you look at Javonte Jean-Baptiste, 6'5", 260, 7th rounder last year, started his college career at Ohio State, then went to Notre Dame for a season. Finished last year with just a sack in 12 games, 13 tackles. But he started to show more and more as the year went on. I think they like him. I think they like Wise too, B.
Mm-hmm.
And Wise is a guy where I know he had an 8-sack season. I don't believe he's had a double digit. Yeah. But Wise is consistent off that edge. And he's one thing I can't help notice. Wise is 6'5", Baptiste is 6'5", Jalen Holmes, 6'5". Whether it's Peters or Quinn, or it might be Daryl Tapp, who's the defensive line coach, whoever it is, they clearly like these long, rangy dudes on the edge.
Even Andre Carter is about 6'4", 6'5".
Andre Jones?
Yeah, Johnson Carter.
I bet he is. Now, maybe that's like the average height. White Brian, see if you can look up average height of DNs. Andre Jones Jr., 6'5", 260. Now, Wise, though, is a little bit different because he's an 8-year veteran, all with the Patriots. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with Belichick, probably lost a Super Bowl with Belichick, and super, super durable. Has never played fewer than 14 games in a season.
I like that.
And just in the last 3 years, 7.5 sacks, 4.5 sacks, 5 sacks.
Okay.
I don't know, but I can tell you that production looks pretty similar to Dante Fowler's. So in the 3 seasons before Fowler got to Washington, he had 4.5 sacks, 6 sacks, 4 sacks. Wise, 7.5, 4.5, 5. The one really big difference in these resumes is prior to last year, Fowler did have a double-digit sack season, 11.5 back in 2019. And Fowler's a first-round pick. He was the number 3 overall pick. So that name value sticks around, whether it should or shouldn't.
Yeah.
Wise was a 4th-rounder. So, he's never had the big name. But I almost want to try to do this math on the fly, so stick with me here. 8 years, 126 games, 34 sacks for Wise. All right? So 8 years, 34 sacks. Fowler's first. All right, so Fowler's first 8 years in the league. Now it's going to be a lot more games. It was 100. What's 142 minus 17? 125. I also need a new pen. The ink is running on this thing and staining the table, but that's a problem for future us. 8 years, 125 games. What's 55 minus 10.5? 55.5 minus 10.5 is 45.
Bro. Yeah.
In their first 8 years in the NFL, in 8 years, all with the Patriots, Wise played 126 games, has 34 total sacks. In 8 years, on a number of different teams, Jacksonville, the Rams, the Falcons, the Cowboys, in almost the same amount of games, Fowler had 45 sacks. Now,
and Fowler was probably playing more time than Butchcombe was.
almost the entire difference stems from the 2019 season for the LA Rams, where Fowler got 11 and a half sacks. And I would point out Aaron Donald was on that defensive line.
Mm-hmm. So he was being doubled.
So I'm just saying, like, if you want to find similarities, there they are.
Mm-hmm.
Fowler was 6'3", 260. Wise, by the way, 6'5", 280. And I really like Dante Fowler. I thought he was a really interesting character. We only got to cover him for a year, but just he was funny and different, and I enjoyed him. But he wasn't that great against the run. I think he was a liability against the run as the season went on. Wise, supposed to be good at it, or at least better. I just think that production is really not that different. Well, and then, like any NFL player that has becomes available, for lack of a better word, we at least kick it around, and Jalen Ramsey is now the guy becoming available.
Not interested.
Why not?
It's been a problem for how many years? He hasn't been that top-notch corner that he was earlier in his career. And I think
he was phenomenal, especially back in the Jags days.
Yeah,
and then
back in the Jags days, he were. But he's not that anymore. Right now, you just got Amos. You have Lattimore here already. You got Mikey. You know, there are a few other guys on the roster. You bring him here to start. How much you gonna pay him? What you gonna ask for?
I mean, I think Miami's just gonna have to cut him and eat the deal because you're not gonna find a trade partner, and they pretty obviously just want to get rid of him.
If he was as good as he was, there's no way people wouldn't trade for him.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna look at the market here. If they end up cutting him, he's got $24 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're gonna take a $30 million dead money hit. Now they'll get some back in cap savings, but like, if Miami is going to release this dude, it's because they don't want to deal with him. And I don't know the Miami situation. They got a bunch of guys that seems like it's difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
So maybe you get rid of Ramsey, and that makes it simpler for a lot of the rest of it. It's just not a business I'm looking to be in. And I think Washington did such a great job of building. I mean, they talk about it, brotherhood. Like they're not scared to go that route and have the conversations about, you know, character and personality and fitting in and everybody being on the same board. And I don't see that as a fit. Ramsey now is going to be a 31-year-old corner. He did play all 17 games last year. He's been fairly durable, especially for a corner in his career. And he's been really good, which is what matters most. I just that's a no for me.
Something's going on where a guy of that caliber wants. Now people are like, he may just be out on the street.
Yeah, I mean, what's that cost you? And maybe you get a deal because Miami's covering so much of it, but you don't get a deal for long.
If you get a hell of a deal, I see a possibility. You're not getting a deal, I say just, you know, you're about to make a right turn and you realize I'm going too fast to make that turn, speed up.
But dude,
drive right past him.
Even if it's a deal for a year, and then he's going to want a new deal, and then you're dealing with some of the stuff that clearly these other teams dealt with.
Yeah. So, no, keep moving.
I'll open this to the aquarium. Does anybody in there want them to go after Jalen Ramsey? That sounds pretty quiet.
Crickets.
I don't know if I want him to go. If he fall to us, we can get him for the low. Let's go ahead. But as far as us chasing,
so you'd be interested if he hits free agency and it's like a veteran minimum type deal?
Yeah, why not? See if he can still play. It still builds out. Secondary, and I don't know. I just think it's probably just my thought process. But I just think if they have vets in there and they're drafting young DBs, that's a good thing. Because when them vets roll out, the DBs them got all the knowledge.
What about you, B? Free agent, veteran minimums, not costing you really much of anything.
I mean, look, something like that, I'll take a chance with it. But, I mean, if I got other young guys that I have a lot of confidence in and I can keep building them for the next 3 to 4, that I can keep them around, no. Because I think, listen, man, I've been on teams with headaches, okay?
Yeah.
And those headaches are not as easy to overcome. Just that. Many people think, oh, you get past it. Not all the time, you won't.
You know where you get past it? If everything goes well. If, like, you know what happened last year in Washington?
Everything went well.
Damn near everything went well.
Yeah.
You hit a Hail Mary. You won a game on the last play
You
against
won
Philly.
7 games in a row. 6 games in a row on the last play or last drive.
Right.
A lot of stuff went right.
A lot of stuff went right. When things are going right, it's easy to have the dude that's a bit different, maybe a little bit of a pain in the ass, because everybody's just having fun and chilling.
Well, even that guy, when things are going right, he jumps on board.
Right. But if things start to go wrong, and then you got a dude that's pain in the ass,
he becomes a bigger one.
Yeah.
People always like, oh man, he got money now. No. When people become more of what they are when they get more money.